Right. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Sacred Grounds. I was looking for a poem that I wrote when I had my first feature at Sacred Grounds, probably 10, 12 years ago, and I had trouble finding it, but I finally found it today. And I'm so glad I did, because back then when I had a feature, which wasn't real often, I would write a poem for the space that I was featuring in. And I've got a few which are just various different venues around town, around the Bay Area. But this one's called First Time Here. The lights are on at Hayes and Cole, the menu written in colored chalk. Is this your first time here? What's your pleasure? Can't decide? Have a seat at 7. Have it all. The taste of youth, the taste of age, the taste of pungent youth, of pungent age, the voice of the hungry, the dispossessed, the possessed, the voice of scones that saw better mornings, the voice of paintings that stare at you and challenge, the voice of chili soup, its gunpowder purpose, the shock of burnt coffee, the anger of forgotten books confined to lonely shelves, the numbness of ideas ignored, the recollections of apple pie, the conviction of cold beer, the vigor of wine that billows lungs, the vigor of wine that oils the voice box, new breath to light old kindling. Hold on, this gas will meet the pilot light. Oh, the gusto of blooming age. Oh, the gusto of blooming youth. The muscle of coffee, the goodness of muffins that fill you for life. The answer of paintings that wink at you. The answer of warm food. All on the menu at Sacred Grounds. The lights are on at Hayes and Cole. And this poem goes out to Jack. Night rides. It's about, I don't know, if you've got a bicycle, do you like to ride at night? If you've got a skateboard, do you like to ride it at night? I don't ride a skateboard, but I see these people riding, and I was inspired to write this poem. Night rides. Under this moon, he is Paul Revere, and he knows it. So does the chrome of his bicycle. They are outlaws on a forbidden path. Across the city, through the country, they elude the sheriff. They defy someone else's king. He and his wheels are drunk on moonbeams. Under this moon, she is Harriet Tubman, and she knows it. So does the silver of her skateboard. She and her board are fugitives. They sneak across trestles, they duck through tunnels, gliding on tracks gleaming in moonlight. Under this moon, riders with silver in their veins, riders on the artery of freedom. And I've got another poem I want to dedicate to Jack. It's I wasn't thinking of Jack when I wrote it, but it's my elegy to any poet that we've lost. I just want to read it for Jack as well. Last manuscript. As sparrows chant from tepid trees, his iron pen furrows against a tundral page. While finches whittle their standard tales, his sinews burn for legends not born. Verse beyond the civil roundabout, as his plumes and talons break free. Verse to escape our cages, as the sound of his hourglass bursts. And I'm going to start talking. This is a poem about the change of the seasons. Everyone talks about how wonderful the colors of fall are. Sometimes they just kind of make me sick. They're just too much. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's drugs I did years ago or something, but I have a bad reaction. And this poem kind of tried to capture that bad reaction to the colors of fall. It's called Knife Line of Autumn. It is the month of October. It is the hour of 4. This is the sun's most savage of hours in the month of the merciless colors. This is the hour that tortures doves, when the sun hurls its cruelest of hues. colors that gash like obsidian blades. The hour of 4 in the month of October, the sun's angle of acid, colors thrown, rapacious and hungry, brutal prism of the equinox, violence of the rainbow. A blade to your eye, its white walls spray painted, its mirrors cracked, your pastels violated. The hour of 4 in the month of October, the hour to shelter in place. Draw your curtain, pull your shade, or your blood becomes paint. And the library in my neighborhood is still closed. I mean, the libraries around across town have reopened, most of them, but the one in the Mission is closed for some kind of remodeling or something, but kind of miss the libraries. But when we didn't have libraries, I don't know, there's other kinds of libraries that are kind of not traditional libraries. This one's about one of them. It's called Wet Library Card. Before you visit, learn to breathe the dark water. Learn to withstand the weight of an ocean. Before you visit, look hard in the mirror. Look so hard you grow a flashlight on your forehead. Look so hard you become ugly as an anglerfish, a head bigger than your body, a scowl frozen, your teeth vicious, unbrushable. Anchor yourself to your heaviest torment. Sink. Welcome to the library of horror, entombed on the ocean floor. Its architecture ghastly, its lighting miserable. They will issue you a library card with this warning on the back. Here are books as dark as your fantasies. Here are books as scary as your secrets. Take any book you can float to your surface. Steep fines for late returns. Violent fines for not reading. Your book list tattooed to your arm. And you ever go to the fruit stand, the vegetable stand, realize a lot of stuff's just going to get thrown out because some's just slightly wrong with them. People don't like to choose certain things because they're not totally perfect. Well, it's a poem about that experience. It's called Orange. In the grocery store aisle, one belly button orange with a scar. The others pristine, unblemished. The others soon to be sold. Between perfect sisters, one unbidden sphere, branded by 2 miscolored inches, not to be held, not to be tasted. A world unfathomed with a navel and a canyon scar. Is the canyon east or west, north or south? Perhaps along her belly or across a breast, maybe against a cheek. Okay, this one's called The Garbage Men. They come while you sleep and they wake you, clanking their truck, rattling their giant cans. They take what you leave for them, torn clothes, worthless paper, broken toys. Then they return in your dreams and ignore you. They cruise right by in their noisy truck and don't pick up a thing. But if you learn their language, if you trade shoes with them and follow their dance, they free you. They take everything you want to be rid of. And this next poem is called Face and Hand. This face chiseled like the Rockies until an avalanche, a slide from the summit, then granite turns crumb. This face, a clipper ship slicing sea and wind, until capsized, then an upturned raft, grasping to float. This signature, precise, military, marching on a line. Then, monkey-like, over the fence, soon a pointed weapon, disturbed, fanatic, then cramped, protected, small, my face, my hand, every moon readable, every moon mine. And my next poem is called Cheekbones. The handsome native, his cheekbones are not chiseled. He is not made of granite. He is not made of marble. The handsome native, his cheekbones are flesh and bone. They have felt hurricanes. They have met tornadoes. The handsome native, his face fathoms all weather. He has withstood hatred. He has withstood other small winds. And this next poem is called Seal Rock. I wrote it out by, what do you call it, out there by Cliff House, that area. There's a rock called Seal Rock, but there are many seal rocks on this continent and other continents. Seal Rock. It just sits there right where it did before anyone's memory. Every day, ocean waves crash against its shoulders, but it does not budge. It remains untroubled. Seals gather on its head. They have parties. They squabble. They make love. Then they go for a swim. Before, I envied the seals. Now, I envy the rock. And this poem's called Inventory. I am removing items from my refrigerator. Cheeses that wouldn't save, vegetables that had hoped for another day. Strange meats forgotten in the attic. This is rancid stuff. There is wilted stuff in baggies. I acknowledge them and say goodbye. In the basement, there's a unique kind of sweet potato, which was given by a friend. I had forgotten about them both. And, so who out there likes donut shops? I mean, I wish they had donut shops without donuts, because I'm just not into donuts, but I love donut shops. So it's called Donut Shop. Most customers order theirs to go. The glazed, the old-fashioned, the maple bars. They take theirs in small white bags or in big pink boxes. Then there are the ones who order for here. The ones who nest at the counter or sit beside the window. Their daydreams floating like buttermilk bars and memories uncurling like cinnamon rolls. Their amusements twirl, their ideas fancy as French twists. Flavorsome steam ascends from the coffee pots. Dark roast, Kona, and hazel. Refills on the house. So some mornings just trying to decide what to eat for breakfast becomes like an existential crisis. This is kind of what happens sometimes. This is called morning choice. Daybreak meal. I hold the question of my toast. What will be its spread? The grape jelly, the orange marmalade, both gifts of morning. I could choose grape, that sweet island of the dark, a gift of nocturnal rivers that squeeze the euphonic night, midnight's vial. Forgive me, grape. This morning I choose orange. Give me the little sun. Give me those jellied stripes. I wish to taste their revels. For this morning I am the tiger's purr. Oh, orange, you brashest of fruit. Be spread on my bread. Be spread on my day. And yeah, just got a few more. And this is another, I like reading this one at Sacred Grounds because I believe this is where Sacred Grounds is where I met Stephen Coppell. I could be wrong. Maybe I met him at Delva also. In fact, I probably did, but this is my poem for Stephen Coppell, who we lost. If I could rhyme like a mockingbird, if I could pun like a stripper who never once blushed, if I could harness that invisible wave, a wave something like the space-time continuum, but beyond calculus, beyond probability, a wave morphing quarks and quasars into verbs and nouns, a wave sometimes corkscrew, on occasion paisley, a wave often curveball, and then, now and then, knuckleball. Perhaps if I had a spaceship in my garage, maybe if I had a window seat on a comet, then I could cameo at open mics across the galaxy. Then I might be a shaman of words like Stephen Coppell, but alas, I have no spaceship. But I have a book called Picnic Poetry, and I am grateful this comet crossed my path. So, got a couple more. This is the one that I think was recently published in the Haight-Ashbury Literary Journal, celebration of a reading at Sacred Grounds. It's called Before the Reading, 2095 Hay Street. An hour before the poets, the sun arrives by peekaboo, dangling his chin below the awning. His horizontal light rekindles the quiet cafe. Tabletops glow like bowls of spilled gold that napkins do not towel, and spoons long to ladle. Below the chairs, a jailbreak of shadows. Phantom couples bow at the thigh. Ghosts embezzle a tango embrace. In the window, potted plants become quiet dragons. A rhapsody of ferns perform their secret orchestra. Then the sun winks goodbye. Our patron must depart, for he has other latitudes to visit and other readings to bless. So I have just one more. This is after the poetry reading, the morning after the poetry reading. The coffee is tall, the jam is flush, the milk is bottomless. I relish all the bread at my table, every roll, every loaf, every slice. Each loaf swells like a lung. Each roll squeezes like a heart. I hear them breathe. I feel them pulse. I hear everything breathe. I feel everything pulse. Thank you very much. I'm out of here.
What a nice reading. What a nice reading. Beautifully well done. Thank you, thank you, thank you.